Let's check in on fire now. A couple of issues getting around as a consequence of our summer of bushfires this year. I'm joined now by Rob Rogers, who's the New South Wales Rural Fire Service Commissioner. Thanks for joining us, Rob. But why don't we start off with Celeste Barber, this windfall for the RFS, it seems. She had a big social media fundraising campaign over the summer to raise money for the RFS. There was a court challenge to try and spread that out so that money could go to a bunch of other charities. The court today has found no. The question, the delineation, the description to people donating was that it was going to your organisation. So you're going to deal with it all. Do you know yet what you're going to do with $51 million?
Yeah, good evening, Chris. Look, and you're absolutely correct on your synopsis of what the events were. And obviously, as well-intentioned as Ms Celeste Barber's were, the trustee clearly says what the money was to be used for, which is what the court has found. One of the things that we did find was that the court has ruled that we can support volunteer firefighters who are injured or deceased. So that's actually something that we've got out of this, which is quite useful for us to be able to make sure we support our people. But look, some of the things that we want to do is contentious things like respiratory protection. We've already commenced a review of those, and that was obviously something that came to light over summer. Helmets. Now, whilst normally government would pay for those things, what this has enabled us to do is accelerate the rollout of that. So things like that we want to see rolled out. Protection systems for firefighters, some of the older trucks that don't have the more modern safety features. We want to look at a program of trying to roll those protections out to make sure everybody has the same protection. At the end of the day, our firefighters don't get any pay, and what we want to do is make sure that they're in the best equipment we can provide them, the best trucks we can provide them, and if they do get injured or worse, they and their families are looked after.
So you won't have any trouble putting $51 million to good use?
No, we won't, Chris, because, I mean, even if you look at just simple maths with the size of our organisation, some 70,000 people, you look at $200 a helmet, I think that's around $14 million as it is. So that's just on a helmet. So for us to roll these things out very quickly and make sure that we start to roll that out ahead of the next fire season will give our firefighters the absolute best protection. So, look, I don't think we will have problems. And one of the things we have committed, indeed, with the trustees of the fund is that we want to be very transparent on what we do with it. We want to tell people exactly where that money's gone, and we want to report on it and make sure that it's completely transparent and there's nothing hidden, and we'll start that process immediately.
And of course, tragically, you had New South Wales volunteers lose their lives, and overseas firefighters as well as injuries. Will this money enable you to help make life easier for the families of those who have been lost?
Look, we'll certainly be looking at firefighters that have died and injured to see if there's anything they need. I mean, there's already quite good compensation schemes for firefighters that die, not in any way that we can compensate people for the loss of their loved one, but there is good support, and there was also specific fundraisers for those New South Wales RFS volunteers. But of course, we're going to keep talking to the families. And one of the things also we see is that a longer-term legacy program to look after firefighters that are injured in the future and their families and their kids, to try and look at something that gives us some longevity going forward. So I think it's a good opportunity. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for the RFS to put some things in place, to put some of those systems to give us some long-standing protection for our volunteer members.
Now, the Bushfire Royal Commission got underway today. It focused on climate change, of all things. This confounds me. We've always faced catastrophic fire conditions in this country, and we always will. Surely we need to work out how to deal with it in terms of preparation, equipment, planning, keeping people's places fire safe, having evacuation and communications plans. How can climate change provide any solutions for you?
Well, I guess from our point of view, we look at the fire seasons as they come. I guess one of the things we have noticed over the past couple of decades is the fire seasons have certainly started earlier and finished a little later. And look, it's not for me to talk about the reasons behind that, but at the end of the day, what we've got to do is detect fires early, respond to them quickly, try and prevent them from getting big. And that's from us, is the key to trying to minimise these fires taking hold. And obviously doing burn-offs, making sure we're reducing the fuel in the landscape, that's one of the things that obviously I think we need to try and do as much as we can. And I know we are trying to do that at the moment in New South Wales, and our colleagues in National Parks and Wildlife trying to get as much burning as we can ahead of the fire season when weather permits. They're the things on the ground that we're focused on. And obviously we'll engage with the Royal Commission as we need to, but we're just focusing on delivering those things ahead of next fire season.
Focusing on the things that you can control rather than those things you can't.
Well, exactly. I mean, and that's the things that, look, people want protection for their homes. They want to make sure that the bush near them is reduced so that it protects them. They don't much care about the politics of these things. They just want to see things done on the ground to make a difference, and that's what we're focused on.
Yeah, spot on. Thanks so much for joining us, Rob.